Hey there folk, welcome back. So for today's video, we are doing another Rainbow and Shadow High ranking. I've done two separate videos now, one for Rainbow High and then one for Shadow High, in which I ranked like the core series characters from worst to best, not like a tier list style ranking, but like very clear cut. This is the order that I like them in. And you guys did want to see the like non core series characters because there are so many of them. I've talked about this more in those two videos, so I'm not going to like repeat myself too much, but Rainbow High is just quite interesting to me because there are so many characters who are introduced not in like a signature like everyday style look, but as a themed lineup. So today we are going to be ranking all of those extra characters regardless of what way they're introduced. We have the whole gambit from like swimline to collector dolls that we're going to be talking about today. This is a Rainbow and Shadow High combined like little list here. I did ask you guys what you would prefer, and I think pretty much everybody said that they preferred the idea of it being both Rainbow and Shadow High, which is good because there really weren't nearly as many Shadow High characters as there were Rainbow High characters. So like that would have been quite a short little video. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. Of course, this is just my list. You might think that every single entry is completely wrong, and that's fine as long as you can be nice about it in the comments down below. We do have $39 to get through, so let's just get started. So I don't know that last place is really going to be surprising to anybody. It's Finn Rosado from the Pacific Coastline. Listen. Rainbow and Shadow High have had some good boy dolls. Mostly Shadow High has had some good boy dolls, at least in my opinion. But if my memory serves, this was only the second boy doll they had ever made, coming right off the back of River, who also not a fan of him, and I just think this face sculpt is inexcusable. They got a lot better further down the line when they started making boy dolls not with this face sculpt. He looks like he has a baby head, and it's just very uncanny to me. So like there are nice things about this doll, like I think his hair is cool, like the pink super curly, that's nice. The shoes are pretty nice, but like nothing was going to redeem this face, so that was kind of an obvious one. However, I don't think that this is going to be obvious. I actually feel like this could potentially be a little bit controversial. But next up is Blue Brooks. I think that was her full name. Sometimes I'm bad at remembering the last names. But she was from the New Friends line, which I'm pretty sure was the last line to come out from Rainbow High before they did their little soft reboot situation there. And there's nothing like really wrong with her. Like I know this is an insane ranking. Okay, like I do get that. If you love her, that's fabulous. It's not that there's anything wrong with her. It's just that every time I look at her, I just feel so nothing about this. Like there's not anything that I can point to where I'm like, "Oh, that's not like the makeup is nice, I guess if you want me to pick something." But the only way I can phrase this, and again, I'm so sorry if you love this doll, is I don't think this needs to exist. Like, I just think it's not exciting enough to merit this being a brand new character. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. This one did not hit for me. Okay, this is a bit of a twofer. The next two spots do go to Holly and Laurel. Devious, the Rainbow High twins. I literally always forget which one is which. So I'll look it up real quick. Okay, I was going to say the right thing, but now I've confirmed it. So Holly is technically lower on this list than Laurel, but like they're in the same picture and it's easy to just talk about them both at the same time because they have the exact same outfit, just recolored. So like this truly is a matter of just, I think that the warm tones ended up looking better, which is kind of funny because I tend to prefer black. I mean, I like both warm and cool tones, but like the black outfit should be appealing to me, but something about the more warm tones that Laurel has, I just think it feels more successfully executed. Neither of these dolls, honestly, they feel a lot like Blue did, where it's just like I don't really know that I personally feel like they add a ton like by the fact of existing, but they were earlier on in Rainbow High's run, so I think that gives them like a little more credit in my mind, whereas Blue again was like towards the end of like the first wave of Rainbow High, so to speak, again before the reboot. So I feel like it's worse that she is sort of like nothing to me, and it makes a little more sense that these are nothing to me. I don't know. I don't really feel strongly they're kind of here. Then we have Avery, who I'm sure would be ranked lower on many of your lists. I get it. Okay, she wasn't excellent. She came out like right with the launch of Rainbow High, so I do have to offer her like a little bit of grace in that regard, I guess. I did have this stall and I either ended up selling her already or she's in the pile to end up being sold at some point. I don't think that she's a bad doll. I actually think that the makeup is quite nice and the clothing pieces she came with were super fun because she came with like a whole closet and like a bunch of extra fashions. That's all great. But she is sort of just another nothing burger. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not the most going on here. She also had a wig gimmick that was, you know, you know how doll wigs are. They're very, very rarely super successful. I don't think hers was the worst doll wig ever, but it certainly wasn't the best. Um, she did have like a super, super cute pink, like molded on pixie cut underneath. Mine was misaligned though, and that always pissed me off. Like there were awkward grooves in it. So yeah, I don't know. She's definitely not all bad. I mean, we are climbing the ranks here, but was deeply flawed. We're going to be on a bit of a Pacific Coast kick here. So this is Halle Capri. And again, like I keep saying this, but it's not that she's ugly. However, she is basically just Skylar in terms of color. I know they're slightly different. Like I do get that. In the hair especially, Skylar has like a few different tones and this is a lot more teal. But she just looks so similar to Skylar. And they came out, you know, like Pacific Coast was relatively early on in the run of that first like I don't want to say generation because that feels a little dramatic. But before the reboot, this was pretty early on in the run, it feels like. And so it's just, I don't know. I think that they could have done more with the more teal color instead of adding in all these blues as well. I feel like they could have made it more of a pure teal to differentiate her more from Skylar, or given her like a super short haircut. Obviously, Skylar could cut her hair and have short hair, but just visually, when you look at them right off the bat, I feel like that would have helped differentiate her if she had a vastly different like hair length or something like that. I don't know. She just sort of exists. She's pretty enough, but she just exists. Harper Dune is up next, and funnily enough, I do have this doll and I do like this doll, but I just think that there are so many other dolls that are objectively better. I really like her pieces, but I don't necessarily want to have her wearing them. Like, I need to redress mine and figure out what I'm doing with her because the base doll is super pretty. This texture of the hair is super, super pretty. I like the pieces, the yellow shorts, the shoes especially are really, really cool. The little like two-piece plaid set and like the plaid hat. Side note, there was some, I don't want to say legal issues because I don't think it technically got that far as like a court situation. I think it was like a cease and desist. I don't really know. I'm not a lawyer, okay? But her plaid is basically just the Burberry plaid, and they weren't a huge fan of that. So subsequent releases of the stall after a certain point were released with a much more simplistic design. And I did get the original, so that's fun at least. That's just like a little side tangent. But yeah, I like again the base doll and I like the pieces. I just at this point don't really like them all together. So that's why she's a little bit lower because it's not like, oh, yes, this is the doll. It's like, okay, I like bits and bobs, but I sort of need to adjust her to like her a lot, you know? Slight break in the little Pacific Coast run. This is Lilac Lane. She was also from the New Friends lineup. I don't think that she's a terrible doll. She also wore glasses. It's just, I, for some reason, was having a really hard time finding a stock photo that was like the entire outfit, not just the face, and also had the glasses on. So just mentally pop those in there. um, this one mostly comes down to style. Like this is just not a style that I really find myself drawn to. Love that she got glasses because I'm always a huge proponent for dolls with glasses. And I do think the sweater's pretty cute, but nothing about her made me feel like, oh my gosh, I need to have this doll. I don't even feel like, oh, I need this for the pieces. Like the sweater's cute, but I don't need to buy the doll to get the pieces, you know? So she's okay. Okay, back to Pacific Coast. This is Margot, and I do sort of regret not getting her ever. Like I almost did it so many times and I just never did. I just think she has a very, very pretty like color combination for her base doll. Like I think the sort of pearlescent inspiration in the hair and everything looks really lovely. I don't care about any of her clothing pieces. Like if I had gotten this doll, it would have been to redress her, hence why she's lower down on the list because I'm not going to rank her super highly if it's like I need to redress her. But I did want to, you know, give her flowers for being a very, very pretty base doll. Sort of similar thoughts for the next one, Phaedra. Oh my gosh, this base doll, this hair blend is so unreasonably pretty. And I actually do like her swimsuit, but I don't really want to have her displayed in a swimsuit. Like I want to find an outfit for her, and I've just had a hard time doing that. So she's another one that The base doll is excellent. She goes a little higher than Margot. First, just because I do like the base doll better. Like I think that the hair blend and everything is just so striking and so cool. But I also at least like one of her pieces, so there's that. But she still can't be too high up. Flipping gears, now we hit our first collector doll, and that is Roxy Grand. Um, I've said a lot of these dolls sort of feel like nothing to me, and this one definitely feels like nothing to me, except she was also super expensive because she's a collector doll. But this is genuinely just like the most generic nothing collector doll I think Rainbow High could produce. Like it just she's just nothing. Like she's not ugly, hence why she wasn't at the very bottom of the list, but she's not exciting to me in any capacity. Right on the back of Roxy is another collector doll, Maria Garcia. This doll caused a lot of controversy when she first came out. Some people did not feel like she was great representation. Some people did think that she was okay representation. I'm not really like the one to weigh in on that. I did make a video like just talking about the inaccuracies that some people were pointing out. Um, but like ultimately at the end of the day, I'm not like the judge, you know what I'm saying? But that's why she's ranked lower than she might have been, just because there was some controversy, and definitely some people who celebrate Dia de los Muertos and some people who have Mexican heritage did not think that this was a good representation. So, like, I wouldn't feel good ranking her too highly, but she definitely got to be above Roxy because at least there's something here. At least there's a design, even if that design needed to be critiqued. At least there's a design. I already know this one's going to be really unpopular. I'm so sorry, okay? But it's Brianna Dolce from the sleepover line, slumber party line. I don't know what it was technically called, but the sleepover one. And she was famously like rather difficult to find. All of the sleepover dolls, I believe they were Walmart exclusives, and so that automatically sort of makes them a little bit harder to find, at least within the US. I'm not sure how like the global distribution was, but she's like the pink girly. A lot of people really love pink girlies, and there's no judgment if you're one of those people. That's fine. So she tended to be pretty hard to find. I also am not sure if she may have been made in fewer quantities or if it truly was just like there was such a high demand for her. She's very popular. She's very expensive on the secondhand market, and I just don't get it. I'm really sorry. I I don't know how to say this nicely. So just please understand that my intention is to just make an observation. It's not meant to be a judgment or anything like that. But something that I find is that a lot of pink dolls are just pink dolls, and that's sort of it. She's just a pink doll to me. Like I don't feel anything when I look at her other than, oh, she's pink. People who like pink would probably really love this. And again, that is great. If you love this doll, that is so good for you. I'm happy that you get to feel that way. But I just don't think that there's anything there. Like I don't know, if you look at another brand like Draculaura, Draculaura is the pink girly from Monster High, even though there are other like characters that dress in a lot of pink. She's the pink girly. And as a whole, the fandom does tend to complain a lot about how much Draculaura gets produced, but it's because she sells because she's the pink girly. But even so, and even though it is annoying how Draculaura just consistently gets dolls and other characters end up not getting dolls because of that, at least she has, I mean, everyone in Monster High for the most part has like a concrete personality, but at least she has a concrete personality. She also has a very distinct style. She has like certain motifs that are present in a lot of her designs, and she also wears a lot of black and white and sometimes like gets the accents of lavender or green or yellow. Like there are other things going on with Draculaura besides she's the pink girl. And I just think that a lot of dolls that dress in predominantly pinks sort of end up just being the pink doll. Again, that's not meant to be an insult. It's just something I've noticed, and that's how I feel about Brianna. Is like she's fine, she's pretty. I don't think she's ugly. The sort of like Juicy Couture inspired tracksuit is kind of fun, but like she's just the pink girl to me. I don't know.
I do want to take just a second to clarify what I said there because I feel like I didn't necessarily explain it great and it could be misunderstood. I am not saying that like a pink doll, like a just pink doll, is bad because it's like just pink. Like, I'm not saying that pink is the root of the problem. I'm saying that it feels like companies know that pink is popular with young kids and like with people in general. Like, so many people love the color pink. So I think that companies tend to make pink dolls and not put in a ton of thought to them, or like not as much thought to them as they do other colors. So I did just want to be super, super clear on that. It's not that being a pink doll is a problem or liking pink or anything like that. Like, that's not the issue. I just think that maybe pink dolls receive a little bit of less effort. I hope that makes sense.
Slightly less to say about another one from the Slumber Party line. This is Marisa. I think it's Marisa. I'm doubting myself now, but that's what we're gonna go with. I'm sorry if that's the incorrect pronunciation. Um, I don't know. I didn't even say this for Brianna. That's crazy, but I tend to not be a huge fan of Slumber Party dolls. So generally speaking, this wasn't the line for me, but she does have cat slippers. So she gets points for that. That finally brings us to 25th place. We're making our way here. And this actually really does sort of illustrate my point because this is another, she's just a pink girl, at least to me. This is literally Pinkley Page is her name. I don't think you can get to be much more of just a pink girl than literally being named Pinkley. I don't know. That was such a crazy thing for Rainbow High to do. I do have this doll and I do like her. She's ranked a little higher than Brianna because even though she is, again, like her main thing to me is like she's a pretty shade of pink. I just like the fact that she's in like day clothes versus the slumber party clothes. That's just a personal preference for me. She also does have glasses, so I am a big fan of that one. But yeah, she wasn't going to be any higher than this because again, there's just not like, I don't know, not like necessarily a lot of substance in her. I am I being really mean? I feel like I'm being really mean. I can be nice about this one though, okay? Robin Sterling also came out in the Slumber Party line, so she rounds out the trio. She's really good. Like she is really, really good. Objectively, again, I'm not a huge fan of sleep themed dolls just as a general rule, but this one is very, very pretty. I think that they just chose such interesting pieces for her and such a gorgeous, gorgeous shade of blue. The eyes and the makeup and everything, like, she's good. I didn't want to get her because, again, sleepover and everything, but she's really solid. Ainsley, I debated getting so many times. She came with like a bunch of extra fashions, which was super, super cool to get to see. They were all black, and then there's like the gold and the silver accents for the most part. There might have been like a little bit of color in there, but it was quite monochromatic. And I, it's so hard because I do love that in some capacity, which is why she's higher up on the list. I love that it's versatile and that she gets so many extra fashions. And I love that, you know, you can mix and match them so easily because it's not like, hey, here's a literal rainbow of fashions. You can mix and match those too, depending on the style you're going for. But it is easy to restyle a black pair of pants. You know what I'm saying? Like you can make that match with so many different things and work on so many different dolls. And so I like what she brought to the table, but I do think that Ainsley herself ended up being a little bit forgotten amongst like all of the things that she came with because the doll herself is sort of just super basic. Honestly, the best way I can put it is the watercolor and create dolls. I don't know why I said watercolor and create specifically. They've done a few different types. The color and create dolls from Rainbow High, where they come as like blank slates. So, like, you know, you have the base doll and all the clothes are white and all the hair is white. And there tends to be not as much makeup on them because the whole point is like they are supposed to be blank slates for you to customize them with whatever, like the watercolor or the airbrush or whatever they come with. Ainsley honestly reminds me of a color and create doll that someone dyed the hair like this purplish black because there's just not a lot going on with the base doll. She could have been up a lot higher and I probably would have bought her if the base doll looked more exciting, but there's just not much there. This one might be, I don't, controversial is not the right word, but perhaps surprising. This is our highest ranked Pacific Coast girly, Simone. I can't explain to you why this doll has such a chokehold on me. It's just the base doll. Her outfit is strictly whatever, in my opinion. The base doll is just so exquisite. One of my top base dolls ever in Rainbow High. Side note, I just realized I say shit like that a lot where I'm like, oh, the base doll is so good, but I hate the outfit. Do you guys want me to do a video or a series of videos specifically talking about like the best of bases? Let me know. Let me know if that would make you guys happy or not, because that could be sort of interesting. She would be on it though. She's just so, so pretty. I feel like the face sculpt is very, very well used here. The eyeliner is like quite thick. The colors for the makeup and the colors for the hair. Y'all. She's so pretty. She's just so pretty. I don't know what else to say. She's just absolutely gorgeous. I have a really hard time redressing her. Like I cannot figure out what to put this poor girl in. But once I figured out, you best believe she is taking up a prominent space on my shelf because there's just something about her. Like, I didn't even get her when they first came out because I didn't like the outfit, but I ended up getting the doll secondhand because I was like, I cannot not have the space doll in my collection. So I love her. Aisha Sterling barely edges out Simone just because I do like Simone's space doll better. But I do think that this space doll is also quite pretty. I think that the like hazily brown eyes with the like whitish silver makeup is a very beautiful and like unexpected combination for her. The gown, I don't like the feathers. I just I don't know, feathers very frequently feel just sort of cheapy and like craft store to me, so it's not the best. But outside of that, I think that the silhouette of the gown with the super high slit and like the high neck and everything is quite fun. She's my least favorite of the Rainbow Divas, but she's still quite pretty. Next up is Lola Wild from Shadow High from the costume ball line. I did get this doll specifically to like harvest her outfit. I decided I just couldn't with the like unnatural skin tone. I've talked about that a lot here in context of Rainbow and Shadow High, but in case you haven't heard me say it before, I know it is dumb, okay? I have to live in my head. Believe me, I know how dumb it is. I just can't get behind the unnatural skin tones at Shadow High because they never explained it in the show. Is that petty? Yes. But my thing is like, you are setting up a system where there are two schools. One school has all the people with human colored skin tones, and one school has all the people with fantasy colored skin tones. And then you're not going to tell me why there is that divide. And frankly, I think it's kind of a weird thing to not explain. I think it's just a little bit strange. It would have been better to me if like I don't know if they had done literally anything. I mean, now with the reboot, they're doing like Rainbow World where there's like this separate universe. They could have made Shadow High be like the inverse universe, almost like sort of like Stranger Things with like the upside down. Like Shadow High could have been instead of the school across the street, it could have been like the school underneath, like the like a mirror realm sort of situation. Literally anything to make it a reason why we have like this awkward like, oh, the human colors go here and the non-human colors go here. It's weird. I'm sorry. It's weird. I don't like it. And because of that, I've had a hard time with a lot of my Shadow High dolls because I look at them and I'm just like, why are you this color? And also, I think you'd be so pretty if you had a human skin tone. Like, this doll is gorgeous. Her face up is incredible. But I'm just like, if she had like a nice medium brown skin tone, this would be 10 times better. Why are we doing this? Like, whatever, it's fine. So I stole all her clothes, but the doll itself, she's pretty. She's just not for me. I deadass just sat here for like 2 minutes trying to remember without having to look it up what line Tiara is from. The Royal Three. Oh my God, I finally got it. I just looked at no one. There's no one here, but I finally got it. I could not figure that out. My entire brain just kept going K-pop Demon Hunters, Huntrix, K-pop, K-pop. It's the Royal Three. It's the Royal Three. Wow, that was crazy of me. Objectively, like I think there's a lot to love about this doll. She's got a lot of really cool pieces. I just had like such a bad time unboxing her that she sort of left a bad taste in my mouth. So yeah, she's pretty. There's nothing necessarily wrong with her. I just like this is my list. It is a little bit biased. And I couldn't rank her any higher because I just don't have great memories like associated with her. Next up is Paris Hilton. And she's a doll that I did consider getting like a couple of times. She was quite expensive. Like it is a collab, so that makes sense. I'm sure there are royalties and everything that have to be dealt with. But she was just way too expensive when she first came out. And also, it's not that I have any like personal vendetta against Paris Hilton, but I'm not like a fan of hers. I just don't really know that much about her. Like I hear her name enough to like I can picture her in my head, but I really don't know much about her. And so for me, no judgment if you don't care about this type of thing, but for me, I was just like I don't really know if I want to buy a celebrity doll of someone that I know literally like not anything about. Yeah, and then when you combine that with the price, it was just not worth it. I do like the base doll just because I think it's really cool when Rainbow High does do the natural hair colors because for them it actually stands out more. And I love this dress just because of the material. I wish companies used this material more because I think it always looks so fun and the texture is oh my god, it's so good. So like the dress I would absolutely want. The doll is also quite pretty, but there was just a lot of factors at play that made me not end up getting her, and that's also why she's ranked here on the list. Then we have Maline, another rainbow diva. Funnily enough, I actually like Aisha's color story a lot more. Yes, I'm aware that it's like basically white, but I prefer silver to gold, and I feel like even though she's dressed in a lot of white, she's definitely supposed to like be silver because they're all sort of metallic, and she does have silver elements on her. But I just think Maline is a better overall picture. I do think the lack of feathers is really helping for me. Like I'm really not a fan of the feathers. And I like the gown. I like the sort of ruffles and the way they cut across unevenly. I don't know. She's just really solid to me. I didn't end up getting her. I didn't get any of the royal or not the royal three. I didn't get any of the rainbow divas, and like sometimes I definitely regret that. But she's solid. She's a solid doll. Then the third member, Sabrina, this is definitely the one that I regret not getting the most, just because I think that her color story is pretty fun. This dress is quite pink, but in general, she was supposed to be more of like a rose gold, which I think is just an interesting thing to include, especially because I feel like rose gold was sort of at the height of popularity in like the late 2010s. So like by the time this doll came out, it's not as though everything was rose gold because there was certainly a period of time where everything had to be rose gold. And so I think it just stands out to me that they wanted to do that for her. It is a mermaid dress, which now definitely feels a little bit more tiring than when it came out. Not that it wasn't already a little overdone when it came out, but it was less so. I just really like her. I really like the colors and everything. The base doll, especially, really, really gets me. And it gets a lot of other people too, apparently, because she is the most expensive out of the three on the secondhand market, at least last time I checked. And I'm not paying secondhand prices for her. So I'm not going to get to own her, but she is my favorite and she's very, very pretty. Then is our first neon shadow entry with Uma. I feel like kind of bad about this one. I can't lie. I really, really do love the neon shadow girlies as a group. I just personally do think that Uma is the weakest of the bunch. Her guitar is like a weird color. It doesn't like the blue on the guitar doesn't match her at all. And she just has a couple of pieces like this like sequined blue top that she has on that I just don't really think were that successful for me. She still is gorgeous and I am still very happy to have her in my collection. I just think she's a little weaker than the other neon shadow dolls and also just than other dolls that we're going to be talking about. I think these next two might be controversial. So, first is Jet Dawson. Listen, this doll had like a lot of problems. When she came out, it was Rainbow High's first like collector doll. And also, I believe the cheapest a collector doll ever like released at. Obviously, with sales and everything, other dolls might have gone cheaper. But she was like, I want to say like $60 when she came out. And all of the subsequent collector dolls were a lot more expensive than that. I had my complaints for sure when I got this doll, just because there was a lot, again, that wasn't great. The second dress that she came with, if I recall correctly, for a lot of people didn't even fit the doll. So it was like purely a display piece because it did not fit on any Rainbow High dolls. And the hair is like quite thinly rooted. There's just a lot going on that isn't great. But if we look at her purely from an aesthetic standpoint, I think this is really cool. Like, I genuinely think this is a really, really fun concept and a really interesting like visual. I just think she looks kind of sick. I like that the only color is the half of her hair and then like the face. Everything else is black and white and in this super fun, like sketchy sort of style. I don't know. Weirdly enough, like I don't think she holds up as a collector doll. Because I definitely don't think necessarily that this is giving collector a lot. But as a doll in general, I still think she's really pretty, and I think I like her more than a lot of people. Second controversial opinion is Minnie Choi. I think a lot of people would put her much higher up on the list. She is not quite in the realm of just a pink girl to me in the same way that like Brianna or Pinkley are. She's not like quite there because I do think she has a very interesting and again quite distinct style. So that like separates her a little bit. But she is towing the line, at least in my opinion. And I really, really love her outfit pieces. I think the outfits that this doll came with were really genuinely incredible. But I don't know. The base doll isn't even bad. She just was my least favorite out of the Royal Three. And there were so many, like Rainbow High dolls specifically, that were all releasing sort of around the same time because they did like the whole Rainbow Vision thing. So you got the Royal Divas, not the Royal Divas. Yes, Rainbow Divas. These names are killing me, y'all. You got the Rainbow Divas and then the Neon Shadow Girlies. And then you had Costume Ball, which is like technically not part of Rainbow Vision, but came out with all of that because it was like in the same set of episodes, I guess. I don't know. I don't watch the show. And then you got the Royal 3. And they were all decently expensive dolls. Like, I think all of these were over $40. So I just never got her because it was like, I can't really afford to do so. I regret not having the clothes, but I don't regret not having her. So I know a lot of people would probably, again, put her a lot higher up, but I'm happy with where she's at on the list. Oh, shit. A third, a third controversial opinion, a third one. Um, so this is Lyric Lucas. She's one of the most widely hated Rainbow High dolls, it feels. And I really like her. I don't get it. I think her pieces are super duper fun. Her makeup is really cool. And her hair is like an oil slick style rainbow. So you have a bunch of colors, but they're all like sort of muted and dark. I genuinely like her a lot. So many people hate this doll. So feel free to roast me gently in the comments if you must. But I stand by it. Okay. I think she's pretty. I think she's pretty. Even if I'm the only one who thinks so. I think she's pretty. Second doll in a row from the Rockstar lineup. This one I definitely think is less controversial, so that's cool. This is Vanessa, and I think she was the first Rainbow High doll to get ahead of rooted braids. I think that's accurate. She looks sick. She's so cool. I think the colors, the way that it's done with her hair, because a lot of it is like the natural sort of brown, but then you have like the cool tones on one side and the warm tones on one side, the fabric scrunchy. The fashions were so unique and fun and interesting for her. Like, she is such a good doll. She's such a good doll, guys. That brings us swiftly to 10th place, which I think this might also be controversial. This was not technically a collector doll, okay? She predates Jet Dawson. She was a special edition, but technically not a collector doll. And this is Kaya Hart, and I just love her. I don't know. I don't know. I think that for a lot of people, she has not held up well over time. I still think this is genuinely such a pretty doll. The hair blend for her is so gorgeous. I love like the Valentine's theming that she got. I am kind of a sucker for stuff like that. And she just had so many interesting, cool pieces. Like, I feel like I'm sort of crazy. Like, I don't think this doll in 2025 gets that much love, but I adore her. I think she's so fun. This is where it starts to get hard, if I'm being honest. Like, I think even 10th place. I was like, okay, Kaya can go 10th. That feels reasonable. This sort of hurts because in ninth place is Carmen, who again, sort of like Simone, I think is in the running for one of the prettiest base dolls in all of Rainbow High. She's so inexplicably gorgeous, especially in person. Like, if you guys have seen this doll in person, you know she looks pretty in the photos. But in person, there's just such a magnetic pull that this doll has for me. I cannot explain it. And she also comes with such incredible clothes and incredible pieces. Like, she is just absolutely fabulous. I adore her. Then we have Tessa from the Royal 3. She's so cool. Her hair is so like long because it's in a ponytail. So it's like up high on her head, but it still almost hits her feet and it's just so fun. And I'm obsessed with her outfits. Like, she's so cool. The uneven pants that you see here with like those I love her. I just love this doll so much. She's so fun. I do think I feel pretty okay though saying that I do prefer Harley from Neon Shadow. This doll is incredible. Really, the only like negative thing I can say is that some of her pieces weren't my favorite, and the way that like the hair was rooted into her head, there's like string wrapped around certain portions of her hair, and like the way it was rooted was like glued kind of weird. I don't really know because I've never tried to like take mine down or do anything with it, but it did pose a pretty big problem for people who wanted to restyle her hair and mess with her like that. So that's sort of a negative, but visually, she's so pretty. She's so pretty. I don't know why Neon Shadow is like the main exception to my problems with Shadow High. There are a couple of others, okay, but Neon Shadow's the main exception. I can't explain it. I just know that I'm obsessed. Okay, not to spoil anything, this is actually insane of me for like ranting about Shadow High earlier. Most of the rest of the list is Shadow High. And I didn't even realize I did that. So I guess it's just a thing for me that like when they pop off, but a lot of the time they don't. I don't know. I can't explain myself, okay? All I can tell you is that Demi Batista is up next. She's crazy. The details in the stall are so impressive, and the makeup especially is just so stunning and so cool. There's also a lot of separate pieces. Like the cape is separate from this beautiful blouse and then like the dress and everything. So you can reuse these pieces in really, really fun ways. I haven't. Like I've just left her as is because I think she's gorgeous. But I think that that's like really fun. Plus, she's a vampire or like dressing up as a vampire, which is always pretty cool. She's very striking and I adore her. Not as much as my girl Eliza, though. This is the fairy from the costume ball line. I know you're probably sick of me saying it, but one of the best faces ever, ever. It's so gorgeous. This photo is really, really not doing it justice. There are so many colors, and they're used in such a wonderful, marvelous way with like different lines where some pieces are sharper and some are softer, and it's just unreal. She's so pretty. Honestly, she probably would have been higher up if it weren't for these fuck ass shoes. These are so ugly. Like the rest of her outfit is so ethereal and pretty and cool, and then you gave me that. Okay. Fourth and third place are going to be another double feature with the Storm Twins. So, Naomi, the one without the bubble gum, is third place for me, and then Veronica is fourth place for me. But these are both so unreal, and it's insane to me to think that I almost didn't have these in my collection. I didn't get them right away. I waited till they went on a sale, and even then, my husband had to sort of be like, "Just get them." And now I can't imagine not having them in my collection. So, thanks, Tony. You were right again. They're so pretty. I'm so stunned by them. I'm amazed that these dolls got to come out. I think the visuals are so unreal. And perhaps the most exciting part, I do like Naomi more. I just think her style is more like aligned with what I'm drawn to. But I really truly was like, I might only like Naomi. But Veronica stole my heart upon arriving home. Like, she's just so cool. She does have the feathers, but I think they're used well in this case. I don't know. These two are utterly insane. Some of the best dolls that Rainbow and Shadow High have ever made. They are bested by two, in my opinion, at least for this lineup. I'm not even going to think about how they would compare to like the core rankings. This is going to be shocking, I think. But Lily Chang is not taking first place. She is taking second place. I do think that she is arguably the most detailed Rainbow High doll of all time. She was the second collector doll and the only one that I think was worth the super high price tag because she came with like a special box and she came with two outfits that were, again, insanely detailed. And the base doll is so, so gorgeous. Her shoes, even, are so detailed. Like the tinsel, she's unreal. Like, I'm very, very lucky to have her. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm quite genuinely at a loss because she's just that good. But also, I'm insane. And there's one more doll that I like more because my little brain doesn't do rational over here. And you might be able to predict what that is. It's Mara Pinkett. I can't explain it to you. Okay, I really truly don't know what's going on with me. At this point, I think I'm gonna have to get at least one more of her because I have one Mara. And she is like a pride and joy for literally no reason. I this photo the stock photo is always sort of bad for her because it makes the hair look like a weird color that it isn't in real life. But the crimped hair and like the fashions go so crazy. A lot of people didn't like this hat because it like plugs into the head, which that's fair. I get it, valid complaint. I just still love her. And again, I can't explain why. I truly have no idea why I'm like this and why I'm so so obsessed with her, but obsessed I am. Like, she's a perfect doll in my opinion, which I know is crazy to say. Okay, I know it's insane to be like Mara's better than Lily. Like, Lily is objectively so much more detailed. There's just something about Mara that like I don't know if I'll ever get that doll off my mind. She's so unreal. I have to buy another one at some point. Like, she's just so incredible. But yeah, she's my top pick. That's going to be it for the video for today. Did I surprise you guys with that one? Because I know that I've talked about Mara a lot on here and how much I love her, but like, I don't know if y'all thought I would still rank her as number one. So let me know if I shocked any of you all. Let me know your thoughts on this list. And if you want to highlight any of your favorites or least favorites, please feel free to do so in the comments down below. But that's finally going to be it for me for today. And also that like concludes the worst to best style ranking of Rainbow High. Unless I end up doing the reboot at some point, but I probably won't because I don't know. I feel like it's sort of a mess. How it's organized and everything. I don't know. It's whatever. So that's probably it for this style of video when it comes to like Rainbow and Shadow High. So yeah, I hope you guys were able to enjoy this little finale here. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.